Hi everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a minute since I've posted a tutorial video, but I think this one will really be a great one for you. So today we are going to marble dye or hand dye some leather pieces, something similar to this. This was also done with the same technique. This, I just used 2 colors of brown. That's all I used. And then you can see the marbling in this blue as well. So let's set these aside and let you know what supplies you're going to need. First of all, start off with something to protect your workspace. You can use a shower curtain if you've got one you picked up at the dollar store, or this is one of those plasticky tablecloths. Same thing, that works just as great. You're also going to need some leather dye. I like using the EcoFlow water stain I get that at Tandy Leather, but there's several other places where you can find dye, but those work really well for me. Also, we're going to need some shaving cream. Cheaper the better. It doesn't have to be extra strength, extra stiff, extra anything. Just plain old shaving cream. You're going to want something to spray some water with. Talked about your dyes. And then you're going to need some stirring sticks. So I've got, chopsticks, little toothpicks. I've got popsicle sticks. And I've even got a hair comb. Anything that you can use to swirl your paint around, those are perfect. You're going to want gloves. Those will save your hands, especially that pretty manicure you just got. Paper towels, some leather. Now, cut your leather the size that you want for your entire project, because once you dye this, you're never going to be able to repeat that pattern. This is a one and done. This pattern will never be repeated again. You can try, but it won't happen. It's just the nature of this technique. You're also going to want a trash can nearby so that you can put all of your used paper towels. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we're going to take any of the colors that we're going to use, put your finger on the lid, and make sure they're all shaken up. Make sure you shake up your shaving cream too. And then these particular dyes don't have a pouring spout, they're just open. And so I decanted those down into smaller containers. So that works well for me. And then at the end of the day, I can just squeeze them back into their original container. Okay, so we've got everything shaken up. And here's where we're just going to take the shaving cream and just spray it down or squirt it down on your work surface. Just kind of make an area that's bigger than the piece of leather you're working with. Just kind of cover it all up. And you're like, oh my goodness, what is she doing? Well, all these little swirls are going to help with making the swirls in your pattern, because they're going to hold the color. So I'm going to start off with some bright colors today. I'd like to use some reds, some yellows, some purples. I'm also going to use the pearl color that comes like this. Now if you notice there's like a shimmer to this, that's that pearl color coming out. This side, now there is kind of a dividing line down the middle because these are 2 different lengths of time that I let the dye sit on there. This also has some silver in it, some silver color. So that's this. So depending on what colors you want for your project will determine what colors you pick. So these you have to hold the top down and turn. So I'm going to put some of this pearl down first because I want that sparkly shimmery color. And then let me take some yellow. And like I said, there is zero rhyme or reason to this. You're just going to put color and just keep putting it down. The more color you put down, the more saturated your end result will be. Like this is a pretty saturated in color, whereas this, like I said, I only used 2 shades of brown, and the rest is just the natural color of the leather. So that's natural, and this is the 2 shades of brown. So you don't have to go crazy with your colors, but you can. There's no rules to this. It's completely random, and it's totally up to you. So let's put that down. Then I'm going to take one of my stir sticks or chopsticks or anything you want and just kind of create some little swirls in here. You can do swirls, you can do lines, you can play tic-tac-toe on here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You see the comb, oops, shaking the camera there. The comb blends the colors more, like in here. So now let's take our piece of leather. I'm good with that for now. And I'm going to wet the piece of leather. So this is where your water bottle comes in. I can also spray water down on my paint if I want to. That kind of softens the colors. So now I take it shiny side down, so I just wet the shiny side of your leather, and I'm going to place it in the color, and I'm going to gently press it down. I want to get the leather touching as much of the shaving cream as I can. Now remember, you want to have a piece of leather about the size of your project, because once you've dyed it, it's going to be hard to kind of mix and match. Also, you can dye the back of this, and if it's a project where you're going to see the back side of it, I would highly encourage doing that. And I'll show you how to do that part here in just a moment. So I'm going to turn the camera off for about 5 minutes and let this just sit. Well, it's been 5 minutes in magic time, and you knew I wouldn't be able to stand still during that time. So while you were gone, I also mixed up some pearl red and blue, because we're coming up on 4th of July, so patriotic red, white, and blue. And then over on the side here, which you really can't see, it's kind of off screen, is blue and silver and a light gray. So I will set all of these down, and we'll pick each one of them up as we go along. So let's pick this one up, and you can see I got horrible coverage. I wanted more of the leather to touch the paint. So you can do 2 things. 1, stick it back down. 2, pick the paint up and dab it onto the leather. Find some areas that are kind of rich in color or have a lot of color, and then just smoosh, I know, technical term, smoosh it on there like you're painting a cake. And then this one's going to have subtle colors to it, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So I'm just going to scoop this up on here, and now I'm going to leave this to sit for about another 5-10 minutes. But meanwhile, I'm going to show you what this red, white, and blue one looks like, and then I'll show you what the turquoise and silver. So I'm going to set that off to the side with my beautiful icing on top. Then I'm going to lift this one up, and that's got better coverage, but still not great. So you can see there's spots missing. If I was wanting something that's more like this, where there are blank spaces of just leather, then I would leave it. I wouldn't put any more dye back on it. But since I do want these pieces to have full coverage, I'm going to scoop up some paint and put it on there. So I said scooping it up is one way to do it. The other way, if you don't have enough coverage on here, sorry, I keep bumping the camera. Ooh, that's pretty, but not enough coverage. Take it and put it right back down onto your shaving cream. So I've got a lot of shaving cream left here, so I can keep going with this. I can make more pieces depending on what I'm looking for, what I need that day. So let's just smack that down in there. Now, if I want to color the back, then you need to save yourself some of this shaving cream right here, because we're going to use all of that for the back of it. So again, I'm going to stop the camera for a few minutes, probably about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and take a look at this all. Okay, so we've had these sitting on here for 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal what we're working with here. Now, let me actually take one of my popsicle sticks, and I'm going to scrape this color off. And because I want to do the back side of this, I'm going to plop the color down right here where I was working. You're starting to see the colors come out? Like I said, I knew this one was going to have less coverage, and I was perfectly fine with that. Whew. If you haven't made a mess already, you will at this point. Okay, now grab your paper towels, and you're going to wipe off the excess shaving cream that's on there. What do you think? Again, more colors or more of the color would have given you more coverage, but this is what I was going for on this piece. I'm going to wet it down one more time. Take another piece of paper towel. Bring up a roll when you're working with this. You will go through it. I'm going to wipe it off again. Now, because I want this similar color scheme on the back side, then I'm going to flip it over and do the exact same thing to the back side. Wet it. This might take a little bit more water. And get it pretty wet. And I'm going to put that off to the side. And I'm going to take my pile of color that I just took off the front, and I'm going to place the back into it. Again, smush it down. Try to get as much coverage as you can. And let's unveil something else. Let's try the red, white, and blue. How do you think it's going to turn out, guys? I don't know either. So we shall see. If I wanted to save this color, just either with the popsicle stick, with your finger, wipe it off. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Now, all of these will need to be sealed. So just keep that in mind when you're making a project. You will need to seal this. Look, that's just beautiful. I hope the colors are coming through on the camera. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, let's do the backside. Why not? I'll put photos at the end of all of these completed projects so you can see what they look like. You want to see what the blue looks like? Me too. So this, I think, is going to be stunning. So let's just scrape this off. Oh, wow. Oh, sorry. Had it off camera when I said, oh, wow. Now, if you're not happy with the coverage on this, just put globs back on and let it sit. I wanted a little more coverage on this one, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put some more. I know I'm busting out all of the technical words, globs and smoosh and everything in between. Okay, we're going to let that one sit because I want more coverage on that. Again, if you're working, if you haven't gotten this up to your elbows by now, the colors, you will. If you're wanting to make sure that you don't transfer your blues to your pinks and oranges and things like that, then don't do multiple colors on your workspace at the same time, because you will get the color on your hands and it will transfer to your other projects. So this I will set out to dry a little bit, and then I will show you guys what that looks like when it's done, and I will also take a photograph of what that looks like when it's done. So that's your process right there. It's that simple, and you can keep going, keep reusing the same shaving cream, add more colors to it. I could take my red, white, and blue colors and mix it in with my pinks and oranges and reds if I want to. It's totally up to you. Now, the beautiful thing about this cleanup, well, other than all the paper towels you're going to use, is when you're done with this mat, just take it out into the backyard and hose it off, or put it in the shower and rinse it off, and that's your cleanup, because it's a water covered top to it. So easy cleanup on that part, lots of paper towels on the other part. Hope you enjoyed our tutorial for the day, and keep an eye out for next week for our sponge painting tutorial. Thanks everybody. One little add-on at the end. I wanted to show you guys the final product. So this is the one that had purple, yellow, red, and some of the pearl in it. And then the backside really turned out well. I like all these lines. This one definitely has less color concentration than that one, but that's okay. These will make great key fobs or tags for wristlets or earrings. Then these are my turquoise and two different colors of gray, or a silver and a gray, and it's kind of a little bit hard to see, but this, to me, this turquoise looks like lakes. I don't know, I just really like how that turned out. Not a lot of coverage, but I'm okay with that. There's the back side. This one, very subtle. I probably would have redone this one, just for some reason didn't. But to redo it, all you do is just wet it down, put it back in, and off you go. Just do the same process again. So the back turned out really well, but that's the back. Now, my red, white, and blue, actually it was red, pearl, and blue, really did not turn out as color rich as I wanted it to, so I completely redid it. I added more color, more blue, more red, a little bit more of the pearl, and I really saturated the shaving cream, and this is what I ended up with. Now, I may have gone a little too dark on this because the blue does kind of look like a black instead of a blue. So, that's alright. I still love it. Hope you enjoyed our tutorial. And when I said we're going to learn how to do sponge painting, it's more of kind of a tie-dye effect. And these are some of the things we're going to make next week. Stay tuned.